Hello, my name is Mordred Viking and I'd like to welcome you to the second episode of this game of Hearts of Iron 4 in La Resistance. So in the last episode we talked a little bit about how espionage works and the types of things you can expect from it, though we didn't cover operations. That is something we still need to do. We also started looking at the focus trees and have basically chosen a path down the national block system. And that's about it. So between episodes, just to save a little bit of time, I have decided to sort out the Navy. If you are curious about how exactly navies work, I would highly recommend you go check out my naval tutorial, a link to which you can find in the description below. Basically what I've done is I've sorted out two strike fleets. So we have this one and this one. This is going to be the larger one. This is going to be the Mediterranean fleet. This is going to be operating in the English Channel, just to bolster the British a little bit, though we may well send them both to the Mediterranean eventually. We have a huge number of submarines, which are working here. I have upgraded a very large number of them, refitting them basically to a class that just has more torpedoes, so they should be more effective. We have a couple of recon ships, though honestly not very many. And then actually quite a few mine layers, which will most likely mine the living daylights out of the Western Mediterranean just to stop enemy ships and enemy naval attacks and things coming at us down there. We have some mine-laying submarines and also a light cruiser mine layer. So we have a few options there. The other thing I've done is completely deleted all air forces just so I can reorganize the wings in a way that I prefer, though that doesn't need to be done right now. And then I have also summoned all of the troops into just one army and just drawn a line in France with the intention of just bringing everyone home, even the colonials, and then just reorganizing everything from there. So a couple of days have passed, about 17 days since the last time we saw each other, but nothing else has occurred. So I just thought I would save a little bit of time, especially with the naval rejigging, because that can take a while. Although this is a much smaller navy than Britain has, so it didn't take nearly as long as playing as the UK. And their navy is actually a lot weaker than I expected. They have loads of submarines. That seems to be the primary thing. Including, interestingly, just for those of you who are into this type of thing, a submarine that uniquely can fit on float planes. These are actually technically level 0 subs, but they have a lot of torpedoes, actually more torpedoes than the regular level 1 submarines that France has, and also a longer max range. These technically are large subs. I don't see any distinction, but yeah, this must be a cruiser submarine. So it's quite slow, is the only thing. It moves 3 nautical miles slower than the regular submarines, but it has really good surface detection for finding enemy ships and, more importantly, enemy convoys, and then loads more torpedoes. It also has triple the hit points, though if a submarine gets detected, it's dead anyway. I have not decided to upgrade to this class. I've upgraded to one which just has torpedoes, but it's an interesting thing that this exists, and you can build more of them. The other thing of note, interestingly for France, is something with their destroyers. Their level 1 destroyer starts with a level 3 engine. They are really fast, 40 nautical miles, whereas the level 2 ones start with only a level 2 engine. You can actually upgrade them, and you can build future destroyers with level 3s. So we might well create a new version of the Magador, which is it's probably not going to be a duplicate. It'll be a new destroyer completely, but we'll stay with the tier 2s and we'll just apply tier 3 engines. It'll be really quick, because we are going to need to create some kind of escort ships. At the moment we have only got screens, and we have exactly the number of destroyers that we need for our screening fleet, but none available for escort duty. Bearing in mind that there's the 1-to-4 ratio, so for every 1 capital ship you want 4 destroyers. We have that exactly, but nothing else. So we are definitely going to want to build some more. And there are a couple of ships. It's going to be a long list. This is all the refits. We are building a few more, but that is going to take a while, especially with all the refitting we're doing. But I think it's definitely the right choice to be doing that. That's a 45? Oh, that should be right at the end. Let's put that one there. 39, 39, October. That's before November. Just want to get these done as quickly as possible. Yeah, these Fantastique classes are really good. They're the very fast ones. Why is that July? That should actually be down here. Okay, that should get everything built in the fastest order as possible, because as we finish this one, then we'll start having 2 dockyards on this one, which means it'll be done faster, and I'm going to have 3 on this one, etc. It's just a good way of organising a navy, just like in order of when they get built. Although I think I may have just missed one there. You are a 48. Yes. Richelieu class, of which we don't have any. Alright, onwards and upwards. Let's go ahead and unpause and finish some focuses. And actually, while we're doing that, I'm just going to leave it running in the background. But this is a good opportunity for us just to take a quick look at Spain. So we can see that the Spanish tree has changed as well. And it is bloody massive. This is probably one of the biggest focus trees in vanilla. You can basically choose the Republican path or the Nationalist path. And then there are 3 branches within each. With various outcomes and problems. We'll definitely be doing a Spain game in the future, so I don't want to do too much on this right now. This is after all the France game. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential here. And then there's also the Portugal focus tree, which is new, which is also quite impressive. Although this one is a little bit longer as opposed to deeper. And many different things you can do here. So this is all the industrial stuff. This is their colonials. Then their political. They can basically choose to go Popular Front, which is communist. Yeah, by the looks of things. Or they can go the Estado Novo, which is democratic. Fascist. And then the Royal Wedding, which is pro-Spain. Royal Iberian Alliance. Yeah, this is like the Iberian unification. I think there's also the possibility of restoring Brazil to Portugal, which would be another interesting thing to do. Okay, remilitarization of the Rhineland. Several German divisions already advanced into the Rhineland, marking the first time since the end of the Great War that Germany has forces positioned west of the Rhine. This is a clear violation of the Versailles Treaty, under which Germany is forbidden from militarizing the region. Unless we issue an ultimatum demanding their withdrawal, the treaty will not be enforced. Act of war, rally the British. Or issue a diplomatic objection. We are going to object! So the Germans like us less. Germany has stationed troops in the Rhineland territory, close to the French border, in clear violation of the Treaty of Versailles. The local population cheered the German soldiers on, while the diplomatic reactions from France and Britain have so far been muted. It is no more than Germans walking in their own backyard, a political commentator in Britain observed. We must, however, see to our border defences.
Attention.
Now, here's a question. Are there any troops still on their way over? Or are they all here? They're all here. Okay, good. So the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to create a duplicate of this. It's going to have a new icon, which is just going to be that. And this is going to be our, like, regular colonial units. We'll call them colonial. Because I'm original. And then these are going to be called police. Just so I know what they are. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all units of that type and just turn them into the colonial division. So any changes that we make to this template in the future will apply to those units. There shouldn't be any retraining or anything required. The units aren't different. There's no changes in the template. It's just changing the name of the template, basically. We do have a couple of the Division Coloniale, which I think I might change just into the Division d'Infanterie.
Attention.
I'm guessing that those are the ones that didn't have equipment. Yeah, that's the difference. Okay. Good. So that should be some good changes.
Attention.
Let's split you into a separate army, just so I can split you up. And the infantry into a separate army. And then we have actually a bunch of mountaineers. More than we should have at the start, if I recall. And these are really powerful units. So those are going to be exclusively used in the Alps, unsurprisingly. And then we have our combined cavalry, motorized and armor divisions. Eventually, I will want to shift the cavalry into motorized, but I don't think we're going to have the resources to do so early on. So what I'm really tempted to do is shift these tank divisions, because they are junk. Like, 10 organization is pathetic. I might just turn them into cavalry. Or I might just disband them. We have quite a few of them, crikey. If we were to convert you into the motorized, what would it cost? 2,300 motorized. See, that's the thing I'm not sure I can afford. Oh no, sorry, not the motorized, it's the mixed ones. This one. Here we go. Only requires 1,000. See, that's more doable. And we'll gain some light tanks. You know what? We're going to do that. Yeah.
Gardez vos rangs.
Okay.
Paré.
And then I'm going to shift everyone who is not trained yet into its own army. Unless, of course, they're all untrained.
Écoutez.
Because there's something pretty cool I want to show off.
Attention. Gardez vos rangs.
And then after this, we'll start worrying about where we're deploying everyone.
Écoutez.
Just double check I've got everyone. I have. Okay. Oops, not you. No, that's where I want you. Okay. So what we can do is we can now hold down Shift and click on Train. And what this does is it will train until they are done. And then it will stop. Automatically. It's great. I love it. I wish there was a way of training only the units in the unit that are required. As far as I know, this is not what that does. This just automatically stops the entire division, or the entire army rather, training when they are ready. Shift click to start an exercise that will last until all units are trained. So we're just going to do that, and at least it will automatically stop when they are finished. Okay, good. New focus. So we are going to need to choose between laissez-faire and agricultural protection. We can ban communism, which will remove political violence. However, that will reduce our stability. What's political violence? Communist and far-right extremist leagues are always ready to resort to violence to advance their political cause. Oh, and this bans the leagues. This gets rid... Okay. So I think we should probably get rid of that right now. And then we'll start down these. While it is inconceivable that anyone could seriously want to visit the chaos and bloodshed of a communist revolution upon their own fatherland, it appears that there are some amongst us who would do just that. We cannot allow them to conspire against the state any longer. The harshest of measures must be taken. Ban it. Ban it away. Alright, good. The other thing we could start doing is moving the ships to where we're actually going to need them. So this is the English Channel Fleet, which will stick here in Calais. This is the Med Fleet, which will stick in Provence. These are the submarines. The submarines are probably going to be the most active in the Mediterranean, so we'll just shift them all there. Likewise with the mine layers. Oh no, sorry, the recon. One of the recons is staying here. And then the mine layers are moving here. Let's do that. And then once they're in position, I can start some of them training. Once we know how much fuel we're using exactly. Okay, electronic mechanical engineering is done, so let's get the mechanical computing. Why not? Still losing fuel. Why? Oh, because of the training, I guess. Yeah, I guess we do have a fair number of tanks. You know what? I'm going to allow it to run out if it does. Because it will still deliver what fuel we have, they just won't be as efficient. What was this? Ah, the second London Naval Conference. Yeah, we're totally fine with letting that go through. And we don't have anything else to do here just yet. Marvellous. Italy took one state. Ethiopia has been annexed. Ethiopia has been capitulated. 5th of April, 36. That's really early. Well, alright then. Alright, Ile-de-France is getting some more factories. War support still incredibly low. Just making sure that this isn't going to limit anything. It doesn't look like it. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to go agricultural protectionism. Protect the rights of man. Buy time, go with Britain, just so we can get the alliance. Though we may not need that immediately. And then I think I'm going to take a jump over here and see if we can get some of those done. Yeah, we shouldn't need the alliance with Britain until like 38, I would hope. Delegations from Britain, France, Italy, Japan and the US met in December of 1935 to discuss a renewal of the First London Naval Treaty, which restricted the number and the size of cruisers and submarines. Negotiations turned quite heated over Italy's war in Ethiopia and Japan's desire to be seen as the equal to Britain and the US. With negotiations now at an end, the signatory nations have agreed on limits to the size of the battleships and the aircraft carriers in the hopes of preventing further ruinous arms race. This will safeguard peace better than any super battleship. Election. Communists in government. The communist movement in France, fueled by broad dissatisfaction amongst the working class and the radical trends amongst academics, has grown large enough to lead to the formation of several parties. After one of these has gained considerable support in the current election, politicians in the Parti Radical have started debating whether or not to seek their support in forming a government. Although they consider our democratic institutions to be little more than bourgeois tyranny, they seem eager to make the changes they want to see through cooperating with the government rather than overthrowing it. Reform rather than revolution will allow some communists in. Or we can have a broad coalition of democratic parties, which will lose us some stability. I'm going to say rather reform than revolution. Hopefully, when my ban of communism comes through in 19 days, that's not going to backfire. It's probably going to backfire. Let's get concentrated industry going. Okay, everything else seems to be going swimmingly. I never did start anything training. That's fine. We'll wait for these to finish, at least. In fact, a bunch of the infantry units are almost done already. Mountaineers. Okay, let's change your colour to white so I know what you are. You guys are the infantry. You can be green.
Attention.
You guys are the colonials. You can be orange. You guys are the armour. You can be red. Okay. Better. Let's make you purple. Right, there goes communism. It has been banned. So let's get the agricultural protectionism. Oh, and this gives us political power, which we can then probably spend on some of the other stuff. Yeah. The world economy has grown more and more hostile to our traditional ways of production. If we do not take measures to protect our farmers, we will soon face a crisis of untold proportions as our farmers are unable to remain competitive in the face of mass-produced foodstuffs coming in from overseas. So daily communism support is ticking down. Hopefully that hasn't killed our stability too much. I think catching it early is going to be a big deal, because the bigger the ruling party, the more stability we have. Big problem is still going to be war support though. Okay, construction 1 is done. It is still 1936. I would very much like to have field hospitals, please, and thank you.
Écoutez.
Alright, infantry are done.
Gardez vos rangs.
Some of the cavalry units are done. And these guys are still training.
Paré.
Now the manpower should all be there, so I
Attention.
think that once the training is done it will stick. Here's hoping anyway. And we do still need a lot more guns. You know what, we have a surplus of tanks now. So I'm going to stop tank production completely. So that we can have some more guns being made.
Aux ordres.
Yeah, we're still losing fuel because all of this is being trained at the moment. But that's fine. We could do anti-communist raids. This will lose us 10 stability. However, weekly stability will increase by 0.7. That's 120 days. Divided by 7 to give us the number of weeks. That's 17 weeks. So our stability will actually go up by 7. And also communism will decrease faster. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to make that go a little bit quicker. We are really going after the communists right now. So where do we get rid of the disjointed government? That's a very good question. Oh, there it is. We have to go all the way down to defensive stratagems. Strengthen government support idea has run its course. So that's going to take a year. Okay, we're going to want to get this one done as soon as possible. So we're going to go buy time, strengthen government. Then while that's ticking down, we can start working on these. Okay.
Aux ordres.
Nationalist Spain has declared war on Spain. So here is the civil war beginning. Now, one of the things that we can do is the intervention in Spain. This unlocks a bunch of decisions which allows us to get involved in different ways. The civil war in Spain has brought the clash between ideologies to our very doorstep. We must tread carefully, lest the conflict spill over into our country. Or we could just choose to stay completely neutral and not get involved at all. Though I happen to know that that decision actually has a couple of neutrality decisions as well. Focus rather. Which might be of benefit to us, I'm not sure. Okay, agricultural protectionism is done. Let's grab the rights of man. That is only a 35-day focus. Problem is, I don't think we're going to have the political power to really do anything with it. Nah, we're going to continue. We're going to hold our course. They may never say it openly, but it is obvious to anyone with eyes to see. Curtailing the right to property is just the first step to eliminating all the rights that the proud ancestors fought so hard for. We will not have it! I wonder if any of this tea is still hot. No, don't think so. I'm recording this at 5 o'clock in the morning, by the way. after a full day of regular streaming, and then a little bit of extra research. Plus, of course, the off-screen stuff like organising the navy, which did take a while. Alright, slowly but surely we're getting up to strength. So as soon as the Troupe de Sénégalais is done, we should see that the training will automatically stop. The 11th Olympic Games were recently held in Berlin, Germany. Attended by athletes from 49 different nations across the world, the 1936 Summer Olympics were the first in history to have enjoyed limited live television coverage. The Games were a significant propaganda victory for the German regime, which spent lavishly on the event. German athletes saw the most success, winning 35 gold medals, while the Americans came in second with 24. 4 of these were won by Jesse Owens, the single most successful athlete of the Games. And actually, speaking of the Games, the channel Time Ghost on their World War II channel, I think it was World War II. No, it probably wasn't. It was on their Time Ghost channel. Did a really good episode on the German Olympic Games. Highly recommend watching it. It was on Time Ghost. Yeah, it was on the Time Ghost. So just do a search on YouTube for Time Ghost Olympics. It'll probably come up. Well worth seeing if you have not done so already.
Aux ordres.
Alright, those guys continue to train. Technologies continue to tick over. We are still running out of fuel, but have not yet run out. Good. It's still 36, so we have time. So, let's take a look. New leadership. This is the Republican tree. So the Republicans have their own focus, which I think is actually just half. Yeah, okay. So you know how it split in two right at the start? So the Nationalists and the Republicans just take their half, and it's their new focus tree. So the Nationalists have this part. They are going unify the National Front. So the Carlists may well rise up. So we might well see at least a fragmented uprising. I'm guessing that some of this is going to like pacify the Carlists to stop them rising. Or try to. And then the Republicans have gone secure Garda Civil. And then going down this path. I don't think... Oh, no, they've chosen a direction too. So they've maintained the Second Republic. Are these like really fast or something? Nope. And they are going for new leadership. So they're maintaining the Second Republic. So I think they are going as democratic as they can. This is straight up communist. Which one's the anarchist path? I think this might be the anarchist path. Yep, this is definitely the anarchist path. So this is communist, this is as democrat, like left-leaning democracy, and then this one is anarchy. So it'll definitely be interesting to see exactly what that means. Any other decisions? Not yet, no. Alright then. And we have almost finished protecting the rights of man. So if Spain comes for French assistance, shall we then start thinking about being a little bit more interventionist? Because they are going that way. Oh, I see. Petition for French aid will allow me to lend lease the Republicans' weaponry. Interesting. Okay. Alright, so we just finished the 1936 technology bonuses. I don't think I want to get resource efficiency just yet. One thing which I would quite like to do is get passive sonar so that I can start refitting my destroyers to actually be able to detect enemy ships. We are still building all of this. We haven't even started the refitting yet. That's fine. Rights of man have been protected. So getting these bonuses would be nice. Oh, that's a really big boost for democracy. Fascism doesn't have... Oh, no, it does. We could basically just root fascism out completely and just have a super stable government. You know what? I like it. When faced with the chaos and upheaval the communists promise, one must be willing to make alliances with other parties, even those that one might find personally reprehensible. And we have another tech tree. I think we're going to go for artillery. Because we are definitely going Grand Battle Plan, but we'll probably go artillery heavy Grand Battle Plan. You guys are almost done training, and here we go. We're almost finished with this one, man. Fuel is going to run out very, very soon. There it goes. 83. How much are these? 86. We will unfortunately have to leave it at that point though, so thank you very much for watching. I do hope you're enjoying this so far. If you are, be sure to hit the follow button so you get no, not the follow button, subscribe button, so you get notifications when new videos go live, and there will be another one just after this, so stay tuned. Don't forget, I am going to be streaming at 5 o'clock PM this evening GMT, so if you want to see this being done live and you want to ask me questions, if you want me to show stuff off, specifically if you want me to go into further depth or whatever, then doing it live is definitely the way to do it, and you can find me at twitch.tv/Mordred Viking. If you have enjoyed this, like I said, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you want to see more of this type of thing in the future, then please do check out the Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/Mordred Viking. And then finally, I have a Discord channel, which is where the community hangs out. They're a cool bunch, and it's always a real pleasure to see some new faces there. Links to all of these you can find in the links, the description below, so go check that out. Also, the naval tutorial I talked about earlier will be there as well. Thanks very much for watching. I will catch you next time. Until then, goodbye.